this is fraudulent.
I am calling all women. Can you please share your story in the comments of situations that happened to you that you were harassed and either someone stuck up for you or someone didn't stick up for you or you were alone? Because clearly, with all these comments I've been getting, they don't believe us. Wow, that was really loud. Okay, let's do it again. I'm here with the question and answer video that everyone's been asking about. I'm sorry this took so long. I know I said I was gonna post it like a week ago, but I didn't have any storage left on my phone to film this video, so I actually ordered a brand new camera just so I could film this specific video and then use it for future videos, obviously. But let's get to the question and answer part finally. First things first, you're probably wondering, why the heck does she have a watermelon in front of her? I normally film videos where I like cut fruit and tell story times. We're just gonna, you know, cut some watermelon while asking some questions. I hope you guys enjoy. If you're new to my channel, you're like, what the heck is everyone talking about? Girl almost getting kidnapped? Long toes? I'm gonna attach the video right here so you can be in the know. This ain't no click. We share our details here. And if you don't want to watch because you've already seen it, just skim over it. It's only 60 seconds long. Okay guys, I don't normally film these type of videos, but like I see this girl over there across the street. I'm literally by my car about to go out and she looks really uncomfortable. I don't know, should I go somewhere? It's like really late at night. Okay, I'm from New York. I'm gonna go. I girls supporting girls. Do y'all see? Nah. Okay, I'm just gonna go inside. Hey girls, what are you doing in the car? What? Oh, who's this? Talking to her about what?
Nothing, just like asking if her toes are long.
What the fuck? Well, we gotta go. Do I know him though? No. I don't think I'm gonna get to know him. Let's go. Bye! Let's go. Can you hide? Yes, please. Okay, let's go. I have a list of the questions on my phone, and then I'm gonna answer some questions that I like know some people had, or just to answer them. The first #1 question I got was, this video feels very staged. Like others are asking, is it fake? First off, if I tell you that it's real, there's a good chance that most of you won't believe me. Like, at the end of the day, you were not there, so whether I tell you it's real or fake, you're gonna still believe whatever you want to believe. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you now, it's not fake, but if you think it's fake, there's not really anything I could do about it. But also, again, whether you think the video is real or fake, the situation is real. Like, this happens to women all the time. Women are constantly catcalled, harassed, all of the above. So this video also does its job in spreading awareness, which is, I'm glad that's what happened. That leads me into question 2. Why is your first instinct upon seeing this happening is, yes, I should film this? Also, by the way, I also realize a lot of these questions are so mean. Like, the way they write them, I'm like, dang. Why does it feel like I personally pissed you off by doing this? My first instinct was to film because, fun fact about me, I worked in a law firm. I worked in it for over a year, and if you didn't know, before social media, I actually wanted to become an attorney and go to law school. And I worked specifically in harassment cases as one of them, and the #1 thing that helped women win their cases was video proof. I learned through working through the firm, and this is a message to everyone, if you are being harassed, film it, document it. Because the second that person tries to lie and say like, oh, I wasn't harassing her, if you're caught in 4K, there's nothing you could do. And like half the time, I'll tell you now, attorneys will always try to go after video or voice clips because they know that can make or break a case. So in that instance, it's late at night, I go outside to go on a McDonald's run, and I see from across the street this girl and this guy. First off, as a woman, I still have like my danger sensors, you know what I'm saying? Immediately sees a black hooded guy wearing a black mask talking to a girl. Context, people were asking, oh, why are they both wearing masks? That's quite convenient. I should preface this. This video was not recently filmed. I actually filmed this video back in 2020. So it's just recently popping off. And during 2020 was COVID. Everyone was wearing masks. So hence why she was wearing a mask. And he was probably wearing a mask to hide his identity, but you never know. I'm leaving my house and my girl instincts go off and I'm like, yo, she looks hella uncomfortable. Like, she was sitting there and she was fidgeting like this and she kept looking around like that. And immediately I was like, if I was in her position talking to a man that I don't really want to talk to, my body language would say that too. So my brain immediately went, do I go up to them or do I not? It's late at night. What happens if this is like a scheme where I'm gonna go run up to them and then they're both gonna jump me and this is really just like a trafficking scheme? That did run through my mind. But the other thing that ran through my mind is, what happens if this isn't a scheme and she's genuinely in danger and then I just let it happen because I got scared? Like, that part of me was like, no, I can't do that. It was eating me up thinking about doing that, and I'm the type of person that I will regret my actions for the rest of my life. So I was like, okay, say I run over there and it's a ploy and they're both trying to kidnap me. My roommate was home, a house full of people were home, my neighbors were home. So if I scream and I say like my neighbors' names, I know they'll run out. So I was like, right now in numbers, I'm still winning. So I looked at my odds and I decided like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna film it just in case, because, you know, if police get involved, at least I have video proof that everything went down and what he said. I had no idea what this man was about to say. So that goes into another thing. People were like, oh, when he said her toes are long, that's so weird. Yeah, I know. There's a reason why I laughed. I tend to laugh when I'm uncomfortable or when I'm in pain. Those are like my automatic things. Not even just when I'm in pain. Now that I think about it, I laugh when I'm like really sad as well. It's just a coping mechanism. So when he said that, I was like, no, this can't be real. Internally, I was like, this cannot be real. I just laughed. I just laughed it off, and then my immediate instinct was to grab her, because I was like, yo, this dude is type psycho. I don't really want to be around him any longer than I have to be. That's pretty much the backstory of what happened up until I ran. Next question. First of all, how old was the girl? She sounds very young. Did she at least tell you what happened? I didn't ask her age, if I'm being honest. The whole situation, I was only with her for a very short period of time. At the end of the day, I didn't know her, she didn't know me, so we weren't about to be best friends, you know what I'm saying? And she was very shaken up, and honestly, I was shaken up too. I don't have ovaries of steel. Your girl was still scared. I could tell that she was maybe a college student, so my guess is she was between the ages of 18 to 21. Somewhere there. I asked her what happened. I was just like, you know, has this dude been following you for a while? Is he following you? Like, what happened? Did you really ask if your toes are long? And she said that she was equally surprised that he made the toe comment. She said he wasn't saying something like that before that. He was being very insistent, asking her for her number, asking if she would go on a date with him, and being very pushy and being like, oh, you're very attractive. And when she kept saying like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested, he was like getting more aggressive and pushy and being like, no, why not? Why are you not giving me a chance? And he was like, I could treat you really well. You're not, how are you gonna shut this down before, you know, giving it a chance, blah, blah, blah. And he kept saying that. She said he kept saying, give me a chance, something like that. When I ran up, I guess it surprised him too, because he was not expecting me to run up. I can't tell if he was joking or not, if I'm being honest. I don't know if he just had enough and he was like, yes, these are my real intentions, or if he was like trying to say a joke or maybe creep me out to get me to go away. I think another super popular question was, what happened to the girl? So what happened is, I asked her why she was walking home at night and if she was going home, what the tea was. She said that she was at a friend's house. Time went by really fast, and next thing she knew, it was nighttime, and internally she knew that, you know, it was late, but she kind of just prayed that nothing would happen. So she left her friend's house, and again, I'm from New York City. MTA is very common here. It's $2.75. You can go home instead of paying a $40 Uber ride. She chose to do the $2.75. She said she was walking, and when she left her friend's house, it was by a like supermarket and stuff. From the supermarket, he started following her, and she got scared, so she ran into a neighborhood to make it look like she was going home, but he followed her, and she was thinking that, like, you know, if maybe she screams or something were to happen in a neighborhood, people would hear it, and people would more likely call the police if something were to happen. So she came into the neighborhood, she came into my neighborhood, and that's where that happened, that situation. So I obviously asked her, I'm like, are you all right? Like, did he do anything to you? And she's like, no, he was just following me and like being very persistent. And I was like, okay, well, as long as you're okay right now. And the thing is, I didn't really want to pry too much because she was shaking, and honestly, I was shaking too. So we both were kind of really spooked. Next question. Did y'all call the police and get the dude picked up? So when I got into the car, I asked her, do you want to call the police? And she said no, she didn't want to, because she said she just wanted to go home. She was like, I just want this situation to be done with. I would really like to go home, please. And she just wanted me to drop her off at the bus stop. So I was like, yeah, girl, I got you, don't worry. So I did not call the police. I did think about it, like, oh, if I came back and he was still, you know, outside in my neighborhood, I'm gonna call the police just to report him. But when I came back, he was gone. When I started walking away, grabbing her and running, he started running off. So I wasn't really surprised that he was gone. I think that's another reason why, like, I kind of just let it slide, because I was like, there's no way the police are finding him. Next was, did she make it home safe? I cannot answer that. I hope so. I dropped her off at the bus. I asked her, do you have a connecting stop? And she's like, no, this takes me directly home. And I was like, okay. I wasn't really gonna push, because keep in mind, my safety was still on the line. I don't know her, so I wasn't like going to drive her somewhere far. Like, I did ask her, like, oh, do you live nearby? And she was like, I don't want to really reveal where she lives, but she told me the town she lives in, and it was like a good, by driving, like 25 minutes. By MTA, it was like 40 minutes. I was like, oh, do you want me to drop you off halfway or something? And she was like, no, can you please just drop me at the bus stop near my place? So I was like, yeah, girl, don't worry, I got you. So I dropped her off. I waited till the bus got there, and then when she got on the bus, I was like, okay, well, there's my job done. Another question, this is all one user, so I guess should I just keep it up? Was it all a ploy so he could care and kidnap her for real? I don't know. If he was trying to kidnap her, I think I intervened. Next question. Oh, you know what I think is a little funny? A lot of these questions I actually received are from men, and the way they format it is actually very disrespectful, and not in a way to be like, oh, I'm genuinely asking you as a question. A lot of the formatting is,
this is so fake. This would never happen.
Which kind of like is really disappointing, because a lot of times it's men harassing women. The people who are causing the harassing are the ones that don't believe that this happens to women. So this next question is, she wrote a half-assed script to make herself look good and it worked. Now people are praising her. Think about it, guys. In a real life situation, you don't look at the situation and first thing think of is, I'm gonna make a YouTube video out of this. You just do it. Secondly, most predators are aggressive. They're not backing down to a little girl and just not say anything. Thirdly, the script was weird and acting was not realistic. I'm sorry, but
this is fraudulent.
But I'm so glad you were there and you can inform everyone what really happened. To answer the first part, think about it, guys. In a real life situation, you don't look at the situation. First thing think is, I'm gonna make a YouTube video of this. You're right. I was not thinking I was gonna make a YouTube video. If you do not know me, I've been on social media for 3 years now. If you've been on social media as well, you tend to upload things that happen to you. I was filming that video for my safety, because if something were to happen to me, I have proof of it. I'm still a woman. It was in the middle of the night. I was still scared. I have the right to film if I'm scared. On top of that, something were to happen to her, I have film of it. Number 3, say she is not a good person and she ends up trying to frame me for whatever reason, saying that I did something that I most definitely did not do. Guess what? I have a video of it. Say he is a very bad person, because he doesn't seem like a very pleasant person, and he decides he's gonna frame me. And he starts saying that I harassed him or something. Well, guess what? I have it on video that I did it. Having it on video is the smartest thing you could do. And if your thought is, I'm not gonna videotape when I'm in a dangerous situation, that's on you, bro. But I'm gonna do it because, as I mentioned previously, I worked in the legal field, and the number one thing that won a lot of our cases is having video proof. The second that you have video proof, everything changes. The whole story changes, the narrative changes. Nowadays, most people do film for their safety. Whether you're in a dangerous situation or you know something could happen to you where you could be framed, you film. It's a safety thing. Next, you said, secondly, most predators are aggressive. They're not backing down to a little girl and just not saying anything. That is so far from the truth. Literally, there was a documentary about this of, I don't want to say it, but people who essay people. They said the number one thing they look for is a woman that apologizes. They like to find submissive women who know that they're not going to back down, so they have more likely of a chance of getting away with doing things to her. So the fact that you're saying that most men are aggressive, yeah, they are. But saying that women are just going to be passive is the narrative that they want women to be like. That's kind of the point of why I wanted to film it as well when I posted it. Number 1 was for my safety. I posted it because it was a weird ass situation, but I wanted to spread awareness that this does happen to women, and I hope this changes your perspective of things. And if you don't believe me, I hope the women in my comments can write their stories right now and tell you how true it is. I noticed that men in my comments were the first one to point the finger and say it was fake, while the women were like, oh my god, thank you for saying something, like I wish this happened to me, or they're like, oh my god, this has happened to me and a woman stood up for me. You see how fast women are willing to believe each other? It's probably because we've gone through this. That narrative that men are aggressive and women should just back down is very harmful and precisely what women should not do. A few other things that I saw that men go for when trying to do something to a woman, like kidnap her, essay her, is they see if her hair is up. If her hair is up, it's easier to grab. Never be nice. That's literally, as a woman, what we have to do in this world. Don't be nice. The second you are passive and nice, you're seen as a target. Another comment. You said little girl.
I'm not a little girl.
I hate to break it to you, but I'm actually taller than a lot of men. I think that also intimidated him because keep in mind, I am 5'10". I'm not that little. And on top of that, I was wearing Timbs. So I was at least 6 feet tall. You know, I do have some oomph to me. Side comment. Part of that documentary I watched is they purposely don't want to go for a woman who is more likely to speak up because then they're going to make a scene. The last thing these men want is a woman who makes a scene. When they make a scene, it draws attention and their plan will go out the window because, you know, if you draw attention, more and more people are going to come, and that's not how these people work. They don't want attention on them. They want the complete opposite. They want to be invisible so they can do whatever they want. Lastly, I'm sorry, but this is fraudulent.
Okay.
Next question. What was the conversation with her like when you both got into the car? How did she know to trust you right away instead of thinking you were with the hooded guy? The conversation was, I pretty much just asked her like what happened and if she was okay. She told me what happened. I stated it previously. And she said she was okay, just very shaken up. And honestly, I was pretty shaken up too, so I was like, okay. She didn't trust me. That's the thing. Yeah, she got into the car with me because I think in her mind, she thought it was safer to be with me because I didn't give off the energy that I was going to do something bad. So I think in that moment, she was just desperate and she was like, yes, get me out of this situation. And number two, I was recording. I think recording gave her also a sense of security, like, oh, this isn't gonna be like hush hush under the rug, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's filming this, it could get out somehow. So maybe in that instance is why she was okay with it. Did she trust me? Probably not, because we didn't exchange numbers. I think that's something that people keep asking me. They're like, oh, are you guys best friends now? Like, first off, for all I know, she could have been an introvert. For introverts, it's very difficult. Next, she was scared. I think in that moment, her mind went blank, and I don't think in that moment she was like, oh yes, let me become friends. Like, I think she just wanted to get out of the situation and go home and forget about it, most likely. It's like what a lot of us want to do. So I didn't really ask for her number either. Honestly, she looked scared. She was shaken up, and I feel like me asking for her number would put her in an uncomfortable situation. So I thought, okay, well, if she wants to talk to me, she can. If she wants to be like, hey, can I have your number just so I have someone to talk to till I get home? I was more than willing to do that. I was ready for that. So I just gave her the option that if she wants to bring it up, she can. But she seemed very quiet, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna push it. I'm just gonna drop her off and call it a day. And like, I feel like people are assuming because I did something that, you know, benefited her, that she owes me something. That's literally not at all my intention. You don't owe me jack shit. Like, I decided out of my own mind, I'm gonna go do this. It's not like she asked for help. She was just scared. So, you know, she didn't owe me anything. And that being, she does not owe me her friendship. And also, I don't know her either. So if she wanted to talk to me, I was more than willing to. But it's been a few years now and I haven't heard from her. Haven't gotten a DM saying, hey, I'm the girl. So I just kind of dropped it. Oh, that's the next question. Did you guys become friends after this? No. I just dropped her off and called it a day. But, girl, if this video has gone viral like 3 separate times, if you've seen it, hit me up, hit me up. So those are all the questions that I received. Now, I did want to speak about something personal on another reason why I did what I did, spoke up. I didn't do it for clout. To many contrary beliefs, I didn't do it for clout. I did it because there was a situation that happened in my family and with myself that caused me to be like this. I don't really want to go into the family situation that much, but There was a time where I was stalked and followed repeatedly for weeks on end, and it was the most miserable time of my life. So this happened back in junior year of college. When I took this video, I was a senior, so the rumors were still pretty fresh. And I was living in this new place. Security was not a thing. It was an apartment building. The way you got in was with a key, but honestly, like, you could sneak in. It was not very difficult. And I lived on the 3rd floor. It was a 3-story building. So my apartment was here, stairs to the rooftop, and then, the door to open it. If you open the door, an alarm goes off. So I was walking home one day, and I noticed this dude was behind me. Instinct, run. So I ran. And when I ran, I did the stupid thing and I ran home. Mistake number 1, if you're being followed by someone, do not run home. I know it's so easy to say that, but when you're scared, the first thing you think about is, I want to go home to safety because I could lock the door. So I made the stupid mistake and I ran home. Obviously, he followed me, saw where I lived, camped out and waited till someone got into the building and just ran behind them and was just like, pretended like he lived there. And my neighbors obviously don't care, they don't know him. So what he decided to do is he would follow me from school and he would wait. And he learned my schedule of when I would finish classes, wait till I would get home, and he would also wait at the top of the staircase. So every single time I came home and opened the door, he would shout from the staircase, "Hello!" Some shit like that. And he would wave, he would be like, "Hey," or he'd be like, "Oh, hi, pretty girl, when can I get your number?" And I'm like, dude, are you not homeless? Why are you asking for my number? Do you even have a phone? And he used to just wait, and I would call the police and I would ask them to deal with him. And guess what? They never dealt with him. I got really scared because he got more insistent, and my neighbors would see this happening, and the thing that made me really sad was my neighbors didn't speak up for me. I was terrified to leave the house because I thought that one day this dude is gonna force himself into my house. I had called the police several times. They didn't do anything. The only time is when I literally broke down in front of my guy friends and I was like, please help me. This dude is following me and I'm scared he's gonna do something to me one day. So my guy friends all came. Let's just say they're from the Bronx. They pulled up and they roughed the guy up, and the guy left me alone then. So in that moment, I told myself, like, I hope no other woman goes through this because this was the most terrifying experience I've ever gone through in my life. I felt so vulnerable, I felt so powerless, and I really didn't want someone else to feel that way ever again. I'm thankful that I had someone there to help me. I just never wanted that to happen again. So that's probably a big reason why I am very, very strong on advocating girls supporting girls, because I went through very many instances of being harassed. There was times I worked in the city. There was times in the city that I was chased from the subway. I've gotten chased with a knife before. I've gotten harassed. Someone has essayed me on a subway before. These things happen so often that, like, I'm just not okay with just letting it happen. Like, if you see New York City subway, a lot of times people just mind their own business, unless it becomes their business. But, like, these people just ignore you. It just doesn't sit well with me. So you get 2 New Yorkers. You either get the ones that, like, put their headphones in and look the other way, or you get New Yorkers that are loud as hell and will stick up for you. Just how it is. All right, I finished cutting up the watermelon. I finished the question and answers, but I am calling all women. I got video proof of, a girl being harassed. Yes, was it in the most awkward way possible? Yeah, but I didn't plan that. So women, can you please share your story in the comments of situations that happened to you that you were harassed and either someone stuck up for you or someone didn't stick up for you, or you were alone? Because clearly, with all these comments I've been getting, they don't believe us. Even if I show hardcore proof, unless I, like, literally physically get hurt maybe, then it will be believable. And even then, I feel like it's still downplayed a lot. Bro, I swear, watermelon tahini just hits different. All right, I hope I answered everyone's questions. I'm still more than happy to answer more questions, but I'm not gonna really be answering the hateful questions anymore because it just pisses me off. I'm gonna ignore the trolls. Or men, the ones that have witnessed it through their mother, their sister, their girlfriends, any stories that you've heard, please share it so people can hear our voices. That's all that matters to me out of this. I'm glad that this video is getting traction, but not because it's like, wow. Oh yeah, someone was like, oh, your 15 minutes is done. I don't care. The point of the video was to spread awareness too. Like, I posted it because I was like, damn, this is a crazy ass situation. And it's getting the awareness I want it to, so people know that this thing happens to people. So I think that is going to be the end of this video, these question and answers. If you subscribe, thank you so much for joining. I'm really not all that. I like just making videos to make people smile. I'm no saint. I really don't think I deserve all this praise. I just feel like, you know, I've gone through enough hardships in this life to learn that I set boundaries for myself, what I'm okay with and what I'm not. And seeing a girl, you know, being alone was not part of my boundary list that I was okay with. So I really do not need to be complimented so much. If anything, I really hope that this shows as an example that women or men, we need to stick up for girls who are in need, because, you know, trafficking, SA is still very prevalent, and I want to spread awareness about that. So thank you guys so much for watching again. I hope this wasn't too weird for you, watching a girl cut watermelon up while talking about a story, but that's also me. So hope you accept that, and till in the next video, hopefully it's more chill and less, you know, scary. Don't forget to turn your bell notification on so you can see the next video when it comes out, because I suck at editing and it takes me a really, really long time to edit it. So I hope you guys see the videos, and I hope I can make your day a little better. And if I do, then I did my job, right? So I'll see you guys next video.